I first had cancer 7 years ago, and this was before Hope Lodge was here. So I was affiliated with the school, and fortunately, a friend drove me every day. So that took a tremendous toll. Now that there's Hope Lodge, of course, we don't have to drive every day, which is wonderful. And just the disease itself just takes so much out of one. The fatigue, I really don't know how I could have done it traveling or staying in a motel. The price would be prohibitive. So it's been a godsend. Another advantage of staying at Hope Lodge is the proximity to our treatment. It's within 5 minutes or less of seeing our doctor or going for our treatment, which makes it very convenient. They have a wonderful kitchen set up. We prepare several of our meals here with ample space to prepare and eat with friends and other people that we've met here. The minute you walk into Hope Lodge, you see this beautiful appointed living room with the grandfather clock and comfortable couches and chairs that is just so homey and welcoming. The rooms are immaculate. They just have a home-like feel all the way from the rooms to when you walk in. The staff is wonderful. They're compassionate. You feel a sense of family with them. They really care. They're encouraging. And it's such a bright spot to walk in the door and see the same faces every time and know that they've been keeping up with me and they are concerned and they care about my progress. To be eligible to stay at Hope Lodge is that you're undergoing some kind of cancer treatment. And that includes days that I've come for scans. I've been able to stay. Of course, doctor's visits, and then my actual treatment nights. Right now I'm long-term because we're here for 3 weeks at a time to get my radiation. But in the past, I've come for daily chemo treatments, and so I just spent 1 or 2 nights at a time.
I'm Kurt Gaum, and I'm the administrator here at Century Cancer Center, and been here for about 4 years. We do radiation treatments only, no chemo. The treatments take only 15 minutes, but our patients are here for anywhere from 5 weeks to 9 weeks, depending on the type of cancer we're trying to treat. I understand rural environments. That's where I came from, a rural place in Colorado, and it's important to take care of those rural areas. And we treat patients from quite a distance away, eastern New Mexico, Hobbs and Clovis and all that kind of thing, those kind of places. And what I liked about the fact that we got involved in Hope Lodge is we give the patients a way of coming to the area without having to spend a lot of extra money on hotel rooms every day. And being in treatment for 45 treatments or 9 weeks, that's an important part of that. We've had patients that have come in and even told us that if it weren't for Hope Lodge, we probably may not have even been treated.
The Hope Lodge here in Lubbock opened the same time I started practice. So I started in July 2010, and it was really a benefit. So I knew that it was being built while I was off doing my fellowship. I had done my 5 years of surgery residency here at Texas Tech and went to Arkansas for a year and did my breast surgery fellowship. And so I was looking forward towards the opening of Hope Lodge when I started, mostly for the benefit for my patients. And so people in West Texas often travel over 2 hours to come in. And so it's nice now to have a place for them to stay. In West Texas, we had one of the highest mastectomy rates, and that's often because if a woman chooses to have breast conservation, which means she wants to save her breasts and I just take the cancer out, then she has to have radiation. The good and the bad of radiation is that it only takes about 15 minutes a day. The bad part is that it's usually 6 weeks. It's every day for 6 weeks, Monday through Friday. So a woman cannot save her breast and do breast conservation, breast cancer surgery if she can't commit to being here every day for 6 weeks. And so that's very different for women in West Texas compared to Houston or Dallas, where there's a radiation oncologist on the corner with every coffee shop, where you can just pop in for lunch, go in before or after work. The women of West Texas really had to commit to driving in every day for 6 weeks. So the Hope Lodge allows women to really make breast cancer surgery an option. So really not limited by the amount of time, gas money driving back and forth, or the inconvenience of having to go do that. So they have a place to stay. It's warm, it's welcoming. We have lots of patients stay here and then get their radiation. They go home on the weekend and they can stay here for their 6 weeks of treatment.
There's a support system within the Hope Lodge. The requirement, obviously, is that the patient has to have a caregiver to stay with them. So, in turn, what that means is that it's kind of built in. The patients that stay there, along with their caregivers, they become family, and they get to know each other, they support each other. We have a support group that meets there twice a month at the Hope Lodge, and it's a caregivers group. Well, we interact with those individuals there, and they tell us about the support that they receive, about the environment that's, very family-like. It's a community, and so I see the comfort level of the patients and the families that are there. And so to me, that's a huge thing. It's important because one thing that we know when we work in a setting like this, in a cancer treatment area, is that there's a lot of stress. The disease process alone creates a tremendous amount of stress. The financial aspect, the hardships that come along with that are huge, and so the stress levels are high for our patients. So a place like Hope Lodge provides kind of a sanctuary. They don't have to worry about how am I going to pay for the lodging for 4 weeks. And then they have, people there that they recognize, that they see on a daily basis. And so this place away from home becomes about as home-like as you can make it. And the hotel doesn't compare to that. There's no way.
I was diagnosed with cancer, prostate cancer, when I was 55 years old, and went through the prostatectomy and down in Houston, and then later my cancer came back. And that's always alarming. And then I was confronted with some decisions, and they suggested radiation. And I did not really want to go back to Houston, so we found out that we could come to Lubbock. And we came over here and met with our doctor and did not know how we were going to really do this. And they said, you're going to be about 8 weeks. You're going to do 40 treatments or so. And so we began to think, and I told my wife that I would just drive back and forth every day. And they said, that's probably not a good idea. And I said, I can do it. And then they told us about the Hope Lodge, and I did not know what the Hope Lodge was. And nurses kind of explained it and said, you can go over there. And so my wife and I came over, and they were gracious to give us a tour unannounced. And they refer to it as a home away from home, and I call it a gift of God. It was a real super blessing to know that we could stay here, and of course my wife was able to come and stay some, and it became a tremendous blessing for us. I have the wherewithal financially where I could have paid for my own lodging over here, but it's not all about the money. The blessing was being surrounded with the people and you begin to share one another's burdens, and it just became, as they say it, a home away from home, and other people become your family in a way too.
I'm Patrick Reynolds. I'm the Cancer Center Director here at Texas Tech University Health Science Center School of Medicine in Lubbock. My area of research is in developmental therapeutics, which is developing new cancer therapies in the laboratory, taking them into the clinic, and proving in clinical trials that they actually work in patients. Hope Lodge is a very important aspect of being able to deliver cancer care to these widely dispersed patients across West Texas. That they can come in here to Lubbock, which is really a medical center for this region, and get their care when they need to have chemotherapy or other types of treatment for cancer. But Hope Lodge is only one part of what we need to be able to deliver. One of the most important aspects is not the treatment of patients as we treat everyone who gets diagnosed with a particular kind of cancer out at the outset, but it's the kind of care we're going to deliver to patients whose tumors don't respond to initial therapy or they recur. These are the real challenges, and for those patients we need to have a wide variety of cutting-edge clinical trials available for these patients. To have those trials available, we need a critical mass of patients so that we can attract the drug companies that sponsor these trials or have academic investigators that have a new drug to place those clinical trials here in our area. Hope Lodge gives us the opportunity to do that by not only having our local patients participate, but being able to recruit patients from a wide geographic area. So it really serves not only the benefits towards advancing science and developing new therapies for cancer, but also gives opportunities for those patients that are geographically remote from us, as well as those that are right here in our own city, to participate in novel cutting-edge clinical trials. We need to have the support to get the infrastructure to get those clinical trials here, the critical mass of clinical investigators and translational scientists to do that kind of work. And we really are lacking in that within this region. We need to build on this.
Hope that's given. We see patients here that have overcome the cancer and they're here for checkups, and that's so encouraging to see that they have made it. And that's our hope, is to make it through this journey and be well again. And the Hope Lodge just gives that aura that it is full of hope and that we are going to overcome this cancer and be survivors.